And to provide insights on the latest Coronacion survey and other related matters, we have with us Professor Dennis Coronacion. Sir, welcome back and thank you for joining us. It's a morning, and just like you, I'm also not a morning person, but then again, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me here. It's always nice to be joining you in a discussion.
Sir, okay, big question. Bongo biglang nag-number one after so many surveys kung saan number one parati si Erwin Tulfo. No, I know it's still statistically insignificant in terms of their differences right now. Pero the fact is, he's already up there. And that's still a jump. I know he's always been in the top 5. Pero ito talagang nag-number one.
No,
what could explain that?
It's a surprise for me kasi we were expecting na, yung pagiging number one ni Erwin Tulfo is going to
be consistent.
It's going to be, and siguro until the May elections na. Pero this is a surprise kasi alam naman natin that Bongo is an ally of the former president and the Duterte family. And that their camp is going through a lot right now. No? It's a difficult situation for them. And who would have thought na, alam mo yung parang the idea na may pinagdadaanan yung kampo nila, so people might not be very supportive of them. And yet, he ended up number one in the Pulse Asia survey.
On the other hand, you also have this well, I don't know if it's a Pinoy proclivity, pero alam mo yung the underdog, ang kapwa ng underdog sometimes gets more votes pag sa pelikula.
It's also possible na yung public perception that maaring underdog sila ngayon, and syempre ang ano nga nila, ang sinisigaw ng mga Duterte, parang they're a victim of this persecution by the BBM administration. Pero I think it's not just that. I think this is also a reflection of the some of the issues that the administration had gone through in the past few months. Lalo na yung I think in January, yung problema nila with the budget. Yes, of course. I think this is a reflection of that issue na nagka-problema sa budget. Parang ang tingin kasi ng mga tao doon is that masyadong greedy na yung mga lawmakers natin who are allies of the administration.
Although, curiously, si Bongo was not particularly vocal about anything in the past few months. I mean, versus, for example, si Bato. Si Bato's always out there. Bato's always talking. Bato's always defending the Dutertes. Although umakyat din siya, pero he's nowhere near the levels of Bongo, which also makes me wonder, bakit if it's a Bato versus BBM dichotomy, meaning namimili lang yung mga botante dahil pro Duterte ka o pro Bongbong ka, bakit si Bongo na hindi naman ngayon ganun kaingay except for nung arrest ni Duterte, but hindi pa yung reflected sa
kasi
survey.
Tapon lang
Ito February 20 to 26 so wala pa yun but before that, di ba? May tahimik siya
Well, kahit tahimik siya rin. I think yung bang natatak sa isip ng mga tao na parang assistant ito ng dating Pangulo. I think for 6 years, that was the image that he portrayed to the public. Na
actually, more than Davao pa lang.
Oo, Davao years pa lang nila, magkasama na sila. And apart from that, I think yung pagiging silent worker ni Senator Bongo, alam ko patuloy pa rin yung proyekto niya na Malasakit. Yung Malasakit project niya o yung center. So sa tingin ko, baka binibigyan ng credit ng publiko yung kanyang trabaho, yung kanyang effort dito sa yung kanyang mga Malasakit Center and so on and so forth.
Si Imee Marcos slipped below the top 12. She's what na? I think number 13 ranking 14. She's ranking 14.
Yeah.
Don't you find that surprising? I mean, I know she hasn't been high up naman to begin with, pero considering, for example, the PCIJ report where she supposedly spent at least in terms of ad values, not actual spending, pero ad values of almost a billion. from the start of 2024 hanggang sa filing lang ng COC, hindi pa kasama yung hindi pa kasamang November, December, January, and yung start ng campaign period.
Well, that was before the campaign period. Tama kayo dyan. Malaki na yung ginagastos niya in promoting herself. Yun nga ako nakapagtatako dun no? But I don't think it has something to do, well, established na naman yun na hindi porke gumastos ka ng malaki, it would translate to an electoral victory or to votes. Apart from that, I think yung pa rin yung problema ni Senator Imee Marcos. Kasi she is identified with both camps. Isa brother niya at saka sa mga Dutertes. In public, she's saying na, kumbaga she is siding with the Dutertes. Alam mo, meron tayong, I think it's part of our culture na parang we don't trust people who are, namamangka sa dalawang ilog. Parang mahirap yun eh. Kasi, of course, among the Duterte supporters, parang they don't trust her too much. Kasi kadugo niya pa rin yung kapamilya pa rin yung Pangulo. Pero sa alyansa naman ng Pangulo, tingin ko wala rin sila binibigay na full trust kay Senator Imee Marcos, even sa supporters niya. No? So, yun ang tingin ko until now, problema ni Senator Imee Marcos, na identified siya with both camps and naguguluhan yung mga tao.
Well, mga Pilipino siguro hindi mahilig sa mga namamangka sa dalawang ilog. Pero apparently they don't mind pag bumabalimbing.
Pero that's after the election.
And also that's also commitment, di ba? It's temporary commitment. Pero pag bumabalimbing ka, you're still committing to another loyalty naman. At least tumataya ka na.
Not
that it's a good thing. Pero
it's not a good thing kasi yung tinatawag natin na political turcotism. But that happens after the election. Ito before the election, during the campaign period, hindi siya ma-identify ng mga tao. Kanino ba talaga to? Diba?
So I had to bring that in kasi, for example, now you have a Congress that's generally very pro Marcos, of course, and very anti-Duterte and anti-drug war and all that. They're the same people who were clapping for Duterte when he was talking about the kill in all his zonas.
Ganyan,
ano yun? Tayo yun, palakpakan ng mga tenga niya tsaka kamay niya ng mga zona ni Duterte.
Yeah, that has been the trait of our congressmen. So easy to win them over. Lalo na if you're the one who's in Malacanang. Tapos susunod na Pangulo, doon na naman sila. So, ang tawag nga namin dito, this is transactional politics. Na there's no really, and we can also attribute this to our weak party system. Ang loyalty ng mga congressmen natin, not to their parties, but to whoever is in power.
Well, to that, I know that's a long-term problem, but may problem with that thing kasi it's such a long-term problem that we keep on shunting it to the side kasi mahabang usapan pa yan eh. But we never seem to go back to it eh. I mean, for example, I understand more than a decade ago they started discussions on a political party reform bill.
That's right.
It never took off.
Yeah. Wala nangyari.
And of course, some cynics would say na parang, in the Philippines naman, there's no such thing as a party to begin with, ganun, which is also true. Pero by being that dismissive, we also dismiss ourselves in perpetuity not having a party.
Right.
Kasi we take it for granted that it's normal and therefore let it be.
Yeah, for as long as we're going to treat it as something inconsequential, then it's going to be that way for a very long time. But there was a time when political parties were very important for our political leaders.
Well, at least to a degree. Pero bumabalimbing din sila dati.
Yeah, that's right.
Kaya bigla ka nagka-liberal party. Yung mga nationalists at mga federalista, nag-aaway-aaway. Biyak-biyak. But not as much as now.
Grabe ngayon.
Dati kasi kahit pa paano, meron ka pang, you still had a faint, you had a faint, whiff of ideology.
That's right. That's right.
May ganun ka pa. Pero ngayon, parang it's, the faint whiff of ideology has given way to the strong dose of personality.
And it's also having a negative effect on the voters. They cannot identify, they cannot distinguish between and among these candidates. Pare-pareho lang naman silang plataforma eh. Na hindi naman nakabase sa ideology or platform of governance.
Anti-corruption.
That's right.
Anti-corruption, anti-poverty. Honestly, tell me a platform that you remember that's distinct from everything else.
Wala. Except of course, yung mga progressive natin ng mga candidates. They have, syempre, alam natin, like those who came from the Liberal Party. Alam na natin yung kanilang stand on issues. Pero the rest, pare-pareho lang yan eh. Oo. Sabi ko nga, kung may political spectrum, lahat sila nasa gitna. Oo.
Nasa gitna, but leaning this way and that lang, but not actually committing to
Yeah, tama.
you meant gaganon ka na ng konti, dudungo ka ng konti, okay, dudungo ka ng konti.
And of course, they avoid yung mga controversial bills. Like if it's going to offend the Catholics, say for example a bill that's allowing divorce, of course they're not going to come up with a stand right away.
Okay, well, it's of course it's fun to throw rocks, but what do we do with the window? I mean, we can see the problem
Yeah.
through the glass, but what do we do with the window? I know it's a very very broad question, and I don't know how you'd want to address it. Pero diba, it's a perpetual problem.
Yeah. But we have to start with something, you know. Yun ang importante dun eh. Actually, meron naman mga initiatives, ano, like in terms of, bawa yung prohibiting yung mga candidates who are related to each other, at least yung second degree.
Ay, mapaaway kasi ba dyan? Kasi, there are those who are contesting the definition of dynasty if it is not based on the bailiwick.
Oo. Pero at least may nangyari na sa level ng SK at saka sa BARM. Pero sa sa general elections, wala pa. Of course, it's subject to debate kung hanggang saan nga ba ang ipoprohibit natin, i-define natin na political dynasty.
Your reference to the BARM, I think that has to do with the, was it a local law in the BARM that they passed where they're prohibiting dynastic candidates sa SK level win? Or, but there's a level in the BARM where they've legislated na bawal ang dynasties eh.
Yeah, I think even dun sa parliament nila.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they're more progressive.
But mas progressive sila. Tawag ko nga dyan, it's an experiment. It's a political experiment. Ang kanila, they'd rather go for a parliamentary form of government and they'd like to strengthen their party system and they'd also like to limit the participation of dynasties.
And that's curious, kasi for a long time, well, that part of the country, the southern regions, have been noted for the prevalence of political clans.
That's right.
That have been there for what for even before the Spanish period.
Yes.
And now they're able to pass that kind of a law.
Oh yeah, but of course that's through the initiative of the BARM leadership. I think at the helm is the MILF. Oo. So, ibang section yun eh. And since I think the time that they were given regional autonomy, magkalaban yan. Yung mga rebel returnees who were at one point, they took the helm of the regional autonomous government. And then yung mga traditional politicians, mga dynasties, mga political families. So, nagka-clash. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, there seems to be a pattern when it comes to yung politics in the autonomous region. So parang alternate kapag after a negotiation, it would be given to the former rebel group, and then after that, pag siguro na hindi nakapag-perform na mabuti, it would be given to
another breakaway. Like what happened nung 1996 final peace agreement with the former president, with the late President Ramos. The MNLF, with the ARMM, and then later on, BARM with the MLF.
Then after that, mga traditional politicians ulit. So, yun ang pattern. But of course, ang kaganda doon is that, kumbaga man, we are seeing, sabi nga nila, a light at the end of the tunnel. Something's being done.
There's something to learn from there with that experiment.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Ang dami, no? Pero ang bottom line means if we'd like to do it, we can do it. Yung mga reforms na yan, electoral reforms, political reforms, all we need to have is, I think, political will.
But wait, I know the Barm Parliament is generally appointive right now. Hindi pa siya. We haven't had a real election where the members of Parliament were elected by the public. Eh. So it's appointive, and I think most of it are MILF.
That's right, majority.
So I suppose that's also why or how they were able to push that bill into place. But let me ask you that: we've also had congresses where the administration had supermajorities. So in a way, it's not the same thing, but in a way, if the will was there, it could have been pushed.
Yes,
Kasi
of
you're not
course.
talking about
They
the
have the
majority, you're talking about
numbers.
supermajority.
Oo.
Why? How come that never happened?
It's a question of political will. How willing is the administration willing to push for political and electoral reforms? Oo, kasi they have the numbers. All you need to, in order to push for those reforms, is that you need support from Congress. And I think in past two administrations, they have enjoyed the support of Congress. Sila may supermajority. And what have they done?
You're talking about the Duterte administration and the Pinoy administration, I suppose.
Even this administration, may supermajority. I think even after the midterm elections, baka ma-retain pa rin niya yung yung supermajority.
But for example, let me zero in on the Pinoy administration. They had a very clear majority. He had overwhelming support in Congress. And at least at the start, they had all these marvelous plans. For example, the Political Party Reform Act was being pushed by key members of the Liberal Party, not all, obviously not all, but that, for example, as well. You had the RH law, and I'm not sure about the dynasty, but the FOI was also being pushed. Ang RH law pumasa, pero yung FOI hindi pumasa, yung Political Party Reform Bill hindi rin pumasa. So I don't know what happened. Was it a question of how much political capital an administration is willing to gamble away? With his allies in Congress before that capital erodes.
That's right. Kasi yung political capital ng executive, of course, it doesn't last long. Ang sabi nga ng may ibang mga studies, it can only last until the midterm elections, and after that, the president becomes a lame duck. So yun, meron limited time to push for so many things that can change the Philippines. But then again, marami ring obstacles along the way kasi iba rin yung dynamics within the House of Representatives. It's quite hard to mobilize, to gain the support of the members of the House. Kumbaga man, let's be realistic. Siyempre, kapag meron kang legislative agenda, for you to get the support of these congressmen and senators, kinakailangan meron din silang kapalit.
But wasn't that what the pork barrel was for? before it was banned by the Supreme Court in 2013. But there still is pork barrel, although they don't call it that.
Kasi it's illegal na. It's declared, I think, illegal and unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So, but they have found a way to circumvent.
So there still is, although it's not called that. In other words, the palace, whoever sits in the palace, still has the carrot and the stick.
That's right.
It's just that it's just how one chooses which carrot to use when to use a stick, and for what pet bills or for which pet measures or projects.
So that's why at the end of the day, it depends on which measures the palace would like to prioritize. Kasi they have limited resources din naman. Kasi how often do they want ba na magkaroon ng trillions of pesos na budget? Ito na nga lang ngayon di ba? Sabi, too greedy.
I'm not being cynical. I'm just but you've been looking into politics all your adult life. But by this time, I'm sure you're. I don't know. I don't know if you're already cynical about it. But coming from 39 years after EDSA, and we've seen basically the same families. Just shifting alliances every time Congress reconvenes from one party to the other, but basically the same families.
Yes.
So, I don't know how
Same
to
families.
change anyway.
That's why one of the comments about this recent survey by Pulse Asia is that the race is too tight. Kasi you have you have the same
The same people.
Same
A lot of them
people.
were electionists, some of them were
seasoned
returning.
politicians. That's right.
And even the term seasoned politician now is parang what does that mean? Nakakailang term ka na that's all you have to say for it.
Wala kang achievement.
Hindi ko sinabi yun.
Pero yeah, same people, same names. Kaya nga po,
Parang veteran politician. O nakakailang termino ka na sa nagawa mo.
kung tapos na siya, yung mga anak naman nila. Di ba? So, I mean, it's a common occurrence. Kaya nga nakakaano na eh. Kaya nga lang mas ngayon mas ibang level eh. Kung siguro, kung mga nakaraan, meron pang kahihiyan, ngayon parang all of them, all at once, running for different positions. So, dati parang we take turn within the family. Ako muna, then
May konting pagkakahiya. Parang medyo disimulado.
That's right.
Okay, well, kayo naman sir, nabuto yun the time when we had statesmen, not
Oh,
politics.
yes. The likes of Rocco, Santiago, sino pa ba? Arroyo, si
Joker.
Arroyo. Oo.
Be careful.
Salonga.
Be careful with first names.
Salonga. Pero those were the days. I don't know kung babalik pa ba yun. Eh, ngayon, ang dami mga, I think, iba na ang trend ngayon. Aside from the traditional showbiz celebrities, meron na mga tumatakbo na rin mga social media influencers, vloggers. I think this is going to be a trend the next elections. So, yun.
Okay, sir. Sige. Well, malapit na mahal na araw. Pag-line natin. Sure. I'd like to say thank you.
Salamat po.
Sorry, kung saan sa mga usapan natin, pero
okay.
there was a lot to talk about looking at the results and all that. But anyway, thank you for your insights. That was Professor Dennis Coronacion of the University of Santo Tomas. Sir, maraming salamat for joining us
Salamat
this
po.
morning.